What's up, y'all? It's Big... Whoa. Not it. What's up, y'all? It's Maria Tori again, and welcome back to my channel. So just thought I would address this before we get into further discussion of the topic for today. Yes, I am wearing a head wrap. For those of you who believe in cultural appropriation, that's not the point of why I'm doing it. I have braids in right now and I'm trying to keep them, you know, nice and sturdy, like without any disturbance up there. So in case you notice that, which is kind of obvious, just know there's no malintentions in this, because, you know, I'm the most cultural loving person there could be on this planet, and if I were to culturally appropriate anybody, it'd be out of appreciation, you know, flattery, all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to be rude about it or anything like that, so just in case you noticed that. But this is literally just because I have braids in and I want to keep them in there for as long as possible. So on to the topic of today. I will be talking about something that did happen to me, that's happened to a lot of women, happened to a lot of girls, and still happens to many people who take physical education or gym class in school. As you guys know, I'm a very big advocate for body positivity or self-love and self-image appreciation, genuine at that. So just know that this is coming from a place where I once was, and I hope to help at least one person when it comes to this, especially women, because we do face a lot more body image issues and stronger ones than do men. Not to say that men don't go through these things, but just thought I'd share this because I myself went through it and I have a lot of friends who did go through it as well. If you do like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below, and also leave me feedback in terms of the types of topics that you would like me to touch upon. When it comes to the Big Fat Confidence series, which I love, this will be part of the Big Fat Confidence series that you guys know I started with the purpose of trying to share awareness and self-love to other people. If you have any other topics that you would like to see in that series, then definitely leave me some comments downstairs. And yeah, besides that, let's just get into the video. So gym class, by the way, if you see me like smacking my head or like scratching my forehead, braids are difficult to deal with. So gym class, I don't know how gym class in terms of like the clothing that you have to wear differ between schools, between Catholic versus public schools and stuff. I can only speak from a Catholic school perspective. Those with uniforms, we could change into like regular clothes. And those schools that I was at where we didn't have a uniform, we could just, yeah, change into shorts or whatever it was. And of course we could wear whatever it was that we wanted or that we chose to, but a lot of the times the teachers recommended wearing shorts. And as a big girl, shorts are just not a thing that you would want to wear in front of a lot of people who, you know, you're at that age where people are exploring each other in terms of like, you know, oh, does he like me or not? Or, you know, a shirt with like short sleeves because you're gonna sweat a lot. Do you really want to show your big flappy arms because that's embarrassing in front of the boys, in front of the girls, the cool girls, the jocks? It was a lot. Yeah, I have a lot to share with this. And to give you guys reference, I did gym ever since the beginning of elementary school because it's just a mandatory, it's part of the curriculum for like physical activity and stuff like that, all the way up to grade 11, where after grade 9 it's a choice. So basically I did gym for all those years, so I want to say at least 8 years, something like that. And actually I would have continued, but the boyfriend at the time that I had in high school, he didn't really want me to take gym anymore. So obviously more stories on that later, but anyways. Starting in grade 10, so a year before I stopped my gym taking, my physical education, up to then, I always struggled to really show my body. And I played soccer for recreational purposes outside of school and in school as well. So that requires shorts, but I didn't really have an issue with that because all the girls there who I played with, we all had the same goal, and it was to, you know, win the tournament. So I know nobody was really there to like kind of like peek at everyone's insecurities and stuff like that. So in that way, I felt a little bit more comfortable just wearing shorts. But also in soccer practices, unlike in gym class, I was required to wear shin guards and socks that sometimes went up past my knees. So obviously that kind of helped my journey in terms of like showing my legs when I was fat as a child, as an infant, because I only had to show this much of my legs in between like my knees and like the bottom of the shorts. So I didn't really have to show that much, but that kind of like, you know, got me used to showing ish skin. But until then, throughout elementary school, I was always super uncomfortable, even in the change room where it was all girls changing. And if there wasn't a stall, I would always be super shy about like, you know, showing my thighs, showing my huge ass legs, my back rolls. I know nobody's really looking, but I was just super scared of just, you know, the judgment I was gonna get. And that's just within a group of girls. Imagine like when we actually get to the outside activities and stuff like that, right? At the time, I was really disproportionately fat when I was in elementary school. I had a way bigger belly and like no behind and stuff like that, so everything was accentuated towards my front. So obviously that just made me more self-conscious. As you guys know, in some of my videos I've said that I never really took off sweaters, hoodies. I would always be covering up my arms, and I would definitely always be covering up my legs, even though like my lower body was I felt a little bit more, I should say not more secure, but less insecure about it. So I would always be wearing pants and hoodies, even in the summer. So when it came to phys ed, I was just not even starting the day. It could be something that I'm really passionate about, like soccer or volleyball, but I just would not be in the right state to play or to competitively play with everybody else. Especially because majority of the times we were doing co-ed stuff, it was just not cool for me to say the least. And there were obviously times when we had to do stuff that had required stamina, that require endurance, that require a lot of mental discipline, which a lot of the times stamina and endurance in general are not associated with fat people. It's something that is associated with just skinny people who have the abs to maintain their balance when doing like push-ups and stuff like that. It's associated with people who have arm mass and arm muscle in order to be able to do push-ups or to do sit-ups or whatever it was, or even wall sits. It's called wall sits, you know, when you just sit against the wall and your thighs just burn like crazy. Those, whatever they are. Even fat people, like we're not associated with anything physically positive, to be honest. Obviously there have been movements lately in social media and stuff like that about body positivity, where you kind of just have to love your body, but you know, back in the day when I was in elementary school, it really wasn't the case. And then besides the endurance and the stamina, there was some mind discipline things that we had to do, such as, for example, the wall sits, like I said, and just in general, like a lot of fitness tactics and stuff like that, even though I, as a person with a lot of legs, could do, because I had that association in my head that fat people aren't fucking fit. Basically, that always deterred my performance, even though I knew I could keep going, because I just assumed that everybody was paying attention to me or other fat women. And to be honest, this is kind of sad to say, but should there be a fatter girl in the class with me, I would kind of feel more comfortable, because I know I wasn't the target of ridicule. I wasn't the target of bullying. I wasn't the target of the attention of what the task was that day. And even though at the time, in hindsight, obviously I think like, damn, like I should have really stuck by that girl. Obviously in the moment, as like, you know, an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, or whatever I was just focused on my self-esteem, which wasn't really existent, to be honest, but I definitely wanted myself to feel safer rather than focusing on making sure that somebody else was okay. So it's sad to admit, but I mean, realistically, it is what happened. I just wanna kind of share this to the girls or the women, because this happens in university and like high school life and stuff like that as well, and even past your education age. This also happens in gyms where women feel really uncomfortable in either fitness classes or just going to the gym and stuff like that. I would just like to say, especially for the kids, because it's gonna take some time for you to realize how much value you have that's not even defined by your body. It'll take some time for you to realize this, but do your physical education and your gym class and stuff like that the best way you can. Your performance in a grade 9 beep test doesn't compare to your intelligence outside of the gym. How many crunches you can do in under a minute does not deter how beautiful you are as a person and how much value and morale you have when treating other people in the streets. How long it takes you to run 3 kilometers doesn't take away the fact that you volunteer, that you're smart, that you are a great sister, a great brother, a great cousin, a great whoever, you know what I mean? All these things aren't defined by your physical activity, you know what I'm saying? I know that I desperately would have wanted somebody to tell me, you know, dude, you're fine, you can beat any of these boys in a lot of things, to be honest. And even in high school, especially because grade 11 physical education was co-ed, there wasn't enough girls who signed up for it to have just a girls class. I think there was only like 5 girls in that class, including myself, and like the other 4 were skinny, and the other 4 were super athletic. They were all on the volleyball team, they were all in the soccer team, anything that requires slimness but fitness. Because had there been multiple girls who were from the rugby team, which rugby requires a lot of body because, you know, you're knocking people over and shit, I would have definitely felt a lot more comfortable. But unfortunately, I was the only fat girl in the class. And I remember there was only one time when I felt really confident in gym class in grade 11. Not to mention because at At the time, I had the boyfriend who just really wasn't in favor of me talking to men, even if they were in my classroom. At the time, because I was with him, it made me feel really uncomfortable, like to, you know, show my legs and all that kind of stuff. But even though I had skill to outperform a lot of the guys, because again, I was never the image that you come up with when people think of fitness. I just, even in the times where I knew I could beat all the men and beat all the girls and stuff like that, like I just really wasn't all there. And I remember there was one time when we were playing soccer, and that was the only time when I was actually valued in the class, even by the guys. They were like, wow, Maria can play soccer, all that stuff. I'm just like, yeah. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, honestly, your value as a person doesn't deter just because you lack in a physical activity. It shouldn't deter you from enjoying life in general, including being physically active just for fun, especially in elementary school, because majority of times we just played games. It wasn't like a competition of like, oh, how many ab exercises can you do in a minute? Oh, how many laps can you do in 5 minutes? You know what I mean? It was never like that. So especially in elementary school, for all the kids that are watching me, if I have any of y'all who are like under 13 years old, just have fun. Life gets so much more difficult when you're older, and the fact that you should be worrying about something where realistically, superficially, only are things that add to your physique, not necessarily add anything of value to your personal life or your emotional life. And just don't worry about not being able to do 5 laps per minute, you know what I mean? As an exaggerated example, you're obviously never gonna see these people. Like after high school, you might only see like 2 to 5% of the people that you ever hung out with, really. But even if that wasn't the case, even if you continue seeing the people that you were in high school with, that you were in elementary school with, just know, like, damn, the fact that you weren't able to do anything in gym class for whatever reason, if you weren't able to volley, or if you weren't able to run properly, or if you weren't able to jump rope for 10 minutes straight, that doesn't take away the fact that you are an A+ student. That doesn't take the, sorry if the angle changed, my camera was being weird. As I was saying, it doesn't take away any positive value from you just because you weren't able to do a lot of physical activity things that were required from you in high school or elementary or whatever. And as a girl, if you are struggling to show your skin, even within your friend group, what really helped me was seeing myself as if I was playing soccer during gym class, and I would just picture myself like, listen, I don't have this issue or as big of this issue when I'm out in my Thursday practice in another school with like a bunch of girls. There's nothing wrong with my physique, so why should I pay attention to my physique now that there's guys around, now that there's other girls who are a lot more fit? I'm a lot better than these girls at this activity. So don't tear yourself down or put yourself in a negative state just because, what, you're 50 pounds like bigger than them, just because you are able to do a 5K run in 20 minutes instead of 13. Like, girl, it's not that serious. If it makes you feel more comfortable, something that helped me even like way after I started university, try to look at yourself in the mirror with said clothes that you're gonna be required to wear, in this case physical education classes. Like, I don't know, just look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, like, I actually don't see anything wrong with me. And if you need to build your way up, first starting to wear long sleeve thermal or like athletic wear, or wearing leggings underneath shorts and stuff like that, build your way up there and like really notice the difference. That actually you'll notice that there's no difference between your body and somebody else's body besides its structure. You'll be okay. Just eventually build your way up there, because the last thing that you would want to do, as I've said in my previous videos, you don't want to have heat stroke. You don't want to, you know, make yourself feel physically uncomfortable by wearing a hoodie or by wearing leggings and shorts and everything possible on your body during physical activity, because it can be not only physically, but it does tear away your peace. Because if you're not physically comfortable, sometimes you don't perform well, even mentally. So I know from firsthand, sometimes I would wear hoodies in gym class and I would be physically uncomfortable, and then the teacher would be like, hey, take off your sweater, you'll feel a lot better because you'll be less hot. But not only would I be less hot, because of the moral support or like the social support that I had from at least one teacher, I definitely felt better performance wise. Your body physique really doesn't add any value to your qualities that actually matter in life, such as being intelligent, such as being a good person, such as being a good volunteer, such as being a good boyfriend, a good girlfriend, a good sister. Don't let those things get to you, because to be honest, they really just they really just don't matter. And in the long run, way after, no one's gonna remember you from high school 20 years later. So just try not to be so hard on yourself when it comes to that, because realistically, as I've said before, superficiality doesn't add anything of value to your heart and how you act towards other people. As long as you're kind to other people and you're a good person overall, try to build yourself a self-esteem that you're comfortable with. Obviously in gym class, it can be really intimidating if you're not in the spectrum of what's supposed to look like in physical education. Like when I think of physical education, I automatically think of people who have abs or people who are like 120 and like, you know what I mean? It's like, even now, it's just so socially constructed into my head, and you're just so conditioned to thinking of those things. But do see yourself in those situations, because anyone can take part in physical education. Anyone can enjoy physical activity with others or just by themselves. You can do anything you set your mind to, including being able to perform, God forbid, with shorts on. And I was once in that position. You can definitely get out of it. It's not gonna last forever. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it really did help and it made sense to some of y'all who perhaps are going through this right now, or maybe it was nostalgic for some of y'all who have gone through this before and are no longer facing it. Perhaps it was good to hear that, you know, you weren't the only one struggling through this. If you did like this video and it made sense to you, please share it with your friends and somebody who may be able to benefit from it. And also give it a big thumbs up so I know that you liked the video, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And definitely leave me your feedback downstairs. If you want me to do any particular topic of your choice, I'll get to it if I can. I'll also link videos in the iCard if they're related to this topic. That way you guys have future videos to watch in case you're struggling with this and you would like to see some more of my videos and my intake. So besides that, I'm pretty much done. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and until then, keep up the awesome, never change, and I'll see you guys next time. Dios me los bendiga, and Maria Toria out.